MATLAB offers many excellent opportunities to minimize editor typing. I'm using a copy of MATLAB's built-in sound function just by way of example. Supposing in your own work that you found a block of code that you temporarily need to delete. Highlight that block and then press Ctrl-R to automatically insert the comment symbols. If you have a comment block, highlight it, hit Ctrl-T, and that removes the comment symbols. We have a number of tools here related to indenting. Let's take a look at the block of code here. I want to slide all of that in. You can just tab that over. You can tab over a block. You also have the control square brackets to indent or move things back. Imagine that you have a piece of code, you weren't necessarily paying attention to get everything all nice and lined up. We have Control-I as Smart Indent. And that's a great time saver right there. Especially when you're working in an area of documentation, you don't necessarily want to spend a lot of effort trying to make sure that everything fits within 80 characters per line. Control-J, it automatically wraps the comments so that they fit appropriately. Do Control-A to select the entire file, and then Control-J to apply that wrap to the entire file all at once. You can also smart indent the entire file by first typing Control-A and then the smart indent Control-I. Oftentimes you might change your mind on what you'd like to call a variable. We see that y, for example, appears in a number of different places throughout the file. We see those with the little tick marks on the right side. Now supposing I said I really want to change the name of the variable bits to new bits. There's 4 instances in the file, and to change them all at once, simply type in Shift-Enter. Note, however, that this replacement does not happen inside the comment blocks. It's easy to look up function documentation within the editor environment itself. For example, you can't quite remember how to use ArrayFun. Highlight it, hit F1, and that opens the function up in the documentation browser. If you're in the middle of typing a function, hit Control F1 to show a quick tip. Use Escape after F1 to close the documentation browser. MATLAB continually analyzes your code and provides suggestions about how to make improvements. Highlight the little orange tick in this case that appears. It shows you the details of why it's suggesting some action, and then sometimes you even have the ability to click the little fix button to automatically apply that fix. You might be in the habit of pressing the green Run button up here to save your code and run. F5 is a shortcut for that. When you have your code broken up into sections, and sections are delineated with the double % symbol, it's possible to run one section at a time. It's also easy to jump from one section to the next. Control down arrow, Control up arrow jumps you rapidly between those sections. Use Control Enter to run the current section. All right, you've been very patient. This is the last topic. I'd like to suggest that you get in the habit of making good use of MATLAB editor syntax color coding as you type. For example, this is indicating there's something wrong with this string when it's printed in red. Magenta tells you that you've got a correctly formed string. Say you wanted to add apostrophe S, like a possessive. We see the little curvy red underline here that says that there's a syntax error at that spot. We need to put in back-to-back single quotes to get a possessive S to print properly. Parentheses checker. Just get your cursor near the parentheses and it'll do a little blinking underscore to tell you where the matching parentheses is located. Again, we see a flag both on the far right, the little tick mark goes red, or we see the little curly underline inside the text itself. And finally, right-click to see even more options for helping you to be efficient in the MATLAB text editor.